There's nothing more satisfying than the sound of clipping in, mostly because it means I won't be falling more than just a foot in height, but also that crisp, clean snap is just music to the ears. For those of you wanting to enter the world of sport climbing, one of your most important pieces of gear and biggest decisions you'll make will be your choice of Quickdraws. But as brands continue to expand their lines, it can be confusing to know which to buy or what you're even looking for when it's time to make your decision. In this video, rather than reviewing each individual Quickdraw, I wanted more to cover Quickdraws as a whole and how each Quickdraw can vary in features and benefits so that you can choose the right gear for the right job. So first, let's talk about the carabiners. Every Quickdraw will come with two binders on each end. It's important that you always use the same binder for the bolt and the same binder for the rope, since the bolt side is rubbing metal on metal and can cause spurs on the inside of the frame itself, which could cut into your rope if you decide to change it up. This is why most Quickdraw systems use distinguishing collars on each end to help identify which is which. Each Quickdraw usually comes with a rubber stopper on one end as well. These are intended for the rope side carabiner, with the stopper used to prevent the rope binder from flipping upside down or even sideways, cross-loading at the gate or spine, which would reduce the strength of the binder significantly in the event of a fall, which we'll get to in a bit later. The most significant difference in carabiners will be between the gate style and the nose. And at first you might assume that the choice between the two is about strength, and that's because solid gates like these on the Edelrid Bulletproof and the Petrol Spirit Express are solid construction, that they would be stronger and safer than the wire gate counterparts. But that's not actually the case. In their own experiment, Black Diamond compared the strength of both solid gate and wire gate constructions and found that they were both relatively the same, with wire gates sometimes outperforming the solid gates due to the wire deforming first instead of outright breaking. By most counts, the wire gates are preferable in most situations, reducing the overall weight of your gear, performing better in colder climates, and most importantly, safer due to the reduced gate flutter that can happen on impact. Now, just to explain that in a little bit more detail, gate flutter is when the gate opens briefly due to a sudden impact along the spine. Now, carabiner strength is rated to a certain Newton force when these gates are closed, so it's in this position that they're at its strongest. When opened, the strength of the carabiner is significantly compromised, and you can actually find the strength rating listed on the spine of the carabiner itself. You can see the Petrol Spirit, for example, is rated at 23 kilonewtons under a normal load, 8 kilonewtons when cross-loaded, and 8 kilonewtons with an open gate, cutting the binder's strength by over double. The one advantage of solid gates, however, is that the nose is key-locked, meaning that the notch where the gate connects to the frame is completely removed. This is ideal as it stops the binder from snagging on bolts or your harness as you try to take them out. Unfortunately, by design, wire gates will always have a non-key-lock nose. However, some brands like Wild Country utilize a hooded design to overcome that problem. Another disadvantage for wire gates is specifically for those who, like our crew, tend to stick clip the first draw for safety. It's not that the stick clips can't hold the quick draw, but rather that it's just really fiddly when it comes to wire gates and tend to come off the gate rather easily compared to its solid gate counterpart. The last consideration regarding gates is the actual design of the gate itself. Some binders utilize a bent gate system, which is intended to make clipping that little bit easier as it helps guide the rope where you want it. Most wire gates that I know of opt for a straight gate design, with the exception of my Wild Country Helium. Now, moving on to the dog bone, the two factors that you're looking at is length and width. The width of the dog bone is helpful to consider for general handling, as well as for when you want to haul or want that little rest. The thicker the width, the easier to handle, but the heavier it becomes. In terms of length, the standard length is around 10 to 12 centimeters, but you can get a slightly longer one at 17 to 18 centimeters. Longer dog bones just help reduce drag on the rope significantly for routes that might zigzag around a bit by helping keep the rope more in a straight position. Again, the longer the dog bone, however, the heavier they become. I'd say if you had the choice of 12mm or 18mm, I would probably grab the 12mm, and if necessary, just extend the quick draws by removing the top carabiner and attaching the rope side binder of another quick draw to that end. This is important to ensure that the carabiner that might have burrs due to contact on metal hangers never touches the softer dog bone, affecting its integrity and your safety. Like I mentioned earlier, you may want to do this if the route traverses significantly or if the binder falls awkwardly on an edge. Strength is never really a factor when it comes to the dog bone, since they are held to a rated standard. In theory, your binder will fail first before the dog bone due to constant use, though factors such as environmental wear like sunlight or just general wear of use while on rock could damage the dog bone, so it's important to always check your gear for any signs of damage before use. The last consideration you'll need to make is quantity. Most guides will let you know how many quick draws are needed on a route, and for most single pitch sport climbs, you'll only need around 12 to get you through. So it's a good start to get you going. Just remember that if you run with the minimum, climbs that may require more won't be available to you unless you skip a bolt or two in the process, which I don't really recommend. You also won't be able to extend your draws like we previously discussed, and you run the risk of not being able to continue sending if any of your draws gets damaged for any reason. At the end of the day, you'll still probably struggle with the choices on the market, so let me run through my recommendations really quickly to make it really simple for you. For those of you just starting out, the best budget-friendly is definitely going to be your Black Diamond Hybrid Hot Forge. You see these a lot at the crag because they're nice quality, cheap, and really easy to get your hands on because every store just stocks them. The downside is everyone has them, and you can get into a which drawers are mine situation if you decide to leave your drawers up there for another group, or if you're using the same quick draw from different owners. The Petrol Spirit Express is by far the most highly rated and most recommended of any quick draw, having the features of a high-end quick draw like thick dog bones for better handling, and more specifically what everyone loves is the ease of clipping your rope in. But where the Spirit beats out its competitors is in price and weight, making this draw best value overall, at least in the high-end category of quick draws. They are very hard to find though, because usually stores are always sold out. Sporting a full rack of these at the crag screams to every climber around that you are financially well off and that you ain't no Gumby bitch. For those wanting a solid, burly, and expensive quick draw that conveniently comes in a set, I do recommend the DMM Alpha Sport, though I would say these are really for people who are particular to wanting that hefty solid feel, feeling a bit fancier, and just want that convenience of a set instead of individually buying draws. Otherwise, I would say I'd opt for one of the other ones that are on this list. Now, these are one of my favorite quick draws since it includes a heavy-duty steel insert at the bottom of the spine to minimize wear. It's one of the priciest and one of the heavier quick draws, but since I mainly sport single pitches, weight isn't really that big of a concern for me. I wouldn't recommend a whole rack of these, but they are fantastic to have to use as your first, your crux, and your top quick draws, which are the ones that see the most wear over time. This will help prolong the need to replace your gear for just that little bit longer. I do have to add that if you're using a double quick draw setup as a top rope system, Edelred also provide a bulletproof locking binder that you can swap these out for a more secure setup. Annoyingly, no one seems to sell the higher end quick draws in a set and only allow you to buy them individually, stacking up the price. And other than Black Diamond, most don't sell a hybrid solid/wire gate system that I'm personally more inclined to. On the high end of the hybrid system is the Black Diamond Live Wire Quick Draw, and these are my personal draw of choice. Though they are pricey as hell, they have a great feel to them with an oversized binder at the end, ribbed for your pleasure. And they circumvent the wire gate drawback using a simple wire over the notch to stop it from snagging. At the end of the day, it's a personal choice of feel and the type of climbing that you'll be doing. Do you prefer the feel of clipping wire gates or solid gates? Are you climbing multi-pitches and need the lighter gear? Or are you doing one-off climbs and don't really care? Are you climbing in freezing temperatures and don't want the gate to seize? Or are you climbing in warmer climates where this isn't really a factor? Let me know down in the comments which quick draws you guys use, prefer, and why. And remember to absolutely crush that like and subscribe button before you leave. Thanks for watching. Remember to send rocks, not nudes, and I'll see you legends next time.